Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden truths behind corporate speak, maybe even uncover a few secrets. Today we're diving into apartment investment and management company's latest filing. You are not going to believe where this company is heading. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. So what exactly is this document? It's a current report that companies file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, when specific important events happen. This one is from Apartment Investment and Management Company, also known as Aimco, and it reports on a special meeting of stockholders that took place on the 6th of February 2026. The main reason for this meeting was to vote on some pretty big decisions for the company. The most crucial vote was on something called the Liquidation Proposal. This is essentially a plan for Aimco to sell off all of its assets, shut down its business, and basically close up shop. Think of it like a company deciding it's time to retire and sell everything off. And guess what? The stockholders approved this. This means Aimco is indeed moving towards winding down its operations. Let's look at the numbers on this big decision. A massive 119,217,338 shares voted for the plan to sell assets and liquidate the company. This shows overwhelming support from the shareholders to move forward with this drastic change. Only 108,600 shares voted against it, a relatively tiny number compared to those in favor. Abstentions were minimal at 59-55, and there were no broken non-votes, which means most shareholders who could vote did. This is a clear signal, a very clear signal that the shareholders are on board with dissolving the company. Next up was a vote on compensation. This was a non-binding advisory vote about the pay that named executive officers might receive in connection with this whole selling and liquidating process. Think of it as a thumbs up or thumbs down on the bonuses and other payments these top folks might get as the company winds down. The stockholders gave their advisory approval to this compensation plan. Here the vote was closer but still showed approval. 68,067,141 shares voted in favor of the compensation plan. It wasn't a landslide though, with 51026880 shares voting against it. There were 237,872 abstentions. While it passed, this split suggests some shareholders might have had reservations about the executive compensation packages during this wind down period. It is not unusual to see this kind of vote when a company is dissolving. The last proposal was an adjournment proposal. This is basically a proposal to allow the meeting to be pushed back to a later date if they needed more time to get more votes or sort things out. However, since the main liquidation proposal passed with such strong support, they didn't actually need to adjourn the meeting. So the meeting proceeded to its conclusion as planned. The voting results for the adjournment proposal showed 97,045,288 shares voting for it. This indicates a preparedness to extend the meeting if necessary. However, 22,260,459 shares voted against it, and there were 26,146 abstentions. Because the liquidation was approved, these adjournment votes became largely academic for this particular meeting. So what does all this mean for Aimco and its investors? This filing confirms that Apartment Investment and Management Company is actively selling off its assets and preparing to wind down its operations. The overwhelming vote in favor of the liquidation proposal is a very strong indicator of the direction the company is taking. This isn't a simple restructuring, it is a complete dissolution. For investors, this typically means they will receive a payout as assets are sold and liabilities are settled. The second proposal regarding executive compensation suggests that while the company is closing its doors, the leadership team will still be compensated for their work during this process, although some shareholders expressed a degree of dissent. The fact that they have a plan and it has been approved by shareholders means the process is likely to move forward systematically, though it will still take time to complete the sale of all assets and the final distribution of funds to shareholders. Looking at this from a strategic perspective, Aimco's decision to liquidate suggests a belief that the current market conditions or the long-term outlook for their specific type of real estate investment company is not as favorable as the potential returns from selling and distributing capital. They might see better value for shareholders in liquidating now rather than continuing to operate. One key risk here is always the execution of the liquidation itself. Selling a large portfolio of assets can be complex and market conditions can fluctuate, impacting the final sale prices. The success of this plan hinges on getting fair value for their properties and efficiently managing the wind down process. A notable opportunity for shareholders comes in the form of receiving the proceeds from these asset sales. The company is essentially converting its real estate holdings into cash that will be distributed. The final payouts will depend heavily on how well the sales are managed and the overall market environment during the sale period. In conclusion, Apartment Investment and Management Company is entering its final chapter. The shareholder votes confirm a decisive move towards liquidation. While the process will take time, the path forward is now clear. Shareholders can expect a return of capital as assets are sold. The key watch points will be the timing and value achieved from these sales. Alright, that is our breakdown of Aimco's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.